In Project 4, we're going to take a look at inserting smart art diagrams, and these are typically used to describe ideas within a workbook. There are a variety of smart art diagrams from which to choose, but we're going to, like we do with any pictures tend to give the user or the viewer a little bit better understanding of the information that's in the workbook. So we're going to take a look at inserting a diagram into the EP Sales workbook, which I have up already and saved it as they've asked us to, at the bottom of page 289 in Project 4A. And to insert a smart art diagram, we're going to go obviously to the Insert tab. In the Illustrations group, you'll see Smart Art. And there are a variety of smart art graphics from which to choose, and these are just the various categories. If you don't know what the category is, then just choose all, and they're all located then in the middle. For our first smart art, we want to choose from the cycle category, and within that we do want the radial cycle. So I'm going to either click on that and choose OK, or you can double click, and that will enable you to insert that smart art diagram into your workbook. And then we're going to type in the text that we need for this, and they recommend that we use the text pane. I'm going to move this over just a little bit. And the text pane is displayed by clicking on the little tab there to the left. I'm going to click on that, and that pulls up the task pane, or the text pane, that enables us to type in text. Okay, so for the first bullet, we're going to type in Evergreen Products, and this is the text that will appear in the center. And then below that, and I just press the down arrow to get there, we're going to type in Seattle. And below that, we'll type in Olympia. Below that, we're going to type in Portland. And below that, Spokane. Okay, and then once you get your text type in, we can close out of the text pane, and you can see the text has been entered into the circles. Obviously, you could click in each one of these and type your text in the shapes that make up the smart art diagram as well. So I'm going to move this over just a little bit, the entire diagram, so that it's not on top of the data there. And I'm going to decrease the size of this so I can get a better picture of what's going on here. Now, once you get the smart art diagram inserted into your workbook, you can format it. You can do a couple of different things to it. The first thing they want us to do, just to kind of experiment a little bit, they want us to switch Spokane and Olympia so that they're flipped around. And one way to do that is, we're going to click on Spokane. And when you do that, notice on the Smart Art Tools Design tab in the Create Graphic group, we're going to click on right to left, and that'll shift those to the right. If you don't have an option up here to move them as you would like, then you need to go back to the task pane and just cut and paste and move them to the appropriate bullets. Okay? Alright, then we're going to also apply a Smart Art style. So in the Smart Art Styles group, we're going to click on the More button to expand out the gallery. And we want to go to the 3D section, and within the 3D section we want the Polished option, which is the first option. So I'll just click on that. That applies it to the Smart Art graphic. We also want to change the colors to green. So with the Smart Art graphic selected, again, on your ribbon, same group, Smart Art Styles group, we're going to go to Change Colors, and the green that we're looking for is Gradient Loop Accent 3. So that applies a different color shading to it. Okay? Alright, with this same workbook, we're going to add another Smart Art graphic, but we're going to go to a different sheet tab within the workbook to do that. Going to the Seattle Sales worksheet, and we're going to insert a relationship type of smart art graphic. So to do that, again, we're going to go back to the Insert tab, Illustrations group, Smart Art button, and on the left we're going to choose the relationship category, and within the relationship category we're going to choose the gear Smart Art. So I'm going to click on that. You can either double click or click OK, and that inserts the gear. This time we're just going to enter in the text as is. The bottom gear, we're going to type in Quality Products. Again, you could do this either here or in the text box, which again you just click on your little tab there. And then up from that We're going to put in customize plans. And the top one, they want us to put in exemplary service. Okay. And once you have the text keyed in, then again, we want to apply some Smart Art styles to it. So you just want to make sure that the border of this is selected. You don't want a single shape being selected. So I'm going to click on the border of the shape. Again, back up on the ribbon in the Smart Art Styles group, we're going to click on the More button. And again, in the 3D section, we want to choose Inset. So click on that, and that applies a different format. Again, I'm going to move this to the side a little bit so it's not on top of our data. And I'm going to decrease the zoom so I can get a better feel for what this looks like. And then our color scheme is going to be the same as we chose earlier. Again, from the Smart Art Styles group, change colors. And we want the gradient range accent 3. Slightly different colors of green, but get the idea. Okay. This time, in addition to changing the colors and the style, we also want to change the height and the width of it. So in the Smart Art Tools Format tab, in the Size group, the height they want us to change to 3.75, and the width they want 5.25. Okay, it's not much bit different than what we had before. Then we want to take one shape within our Smart Art graphic, and they're indicating we want to take the bottom gear, and we're going to apply different colors to that. So for the bottom gear, we're going to apply a shape fill color that's olive green, the very darkest one we can get there. Okay, and then the top gear, again, we're going to apply a green, this time darker 25%. So it's a little bit darker. They're just showing you that you can take each one of those graphics separately and apply different colors to those, even though you selected a color scheme originally. In Project 4D, we're going to add some word art. So we're going to go back to the total sales worksheet. And in that, we're going to take out the title that they currently have in there, Evergreen Products. I'm just going to press the delete key on my keyboard, and that deletes out the text in there. And then we're going to keep the same name, essentially. Is that right? Evergreen Products, yeah. We're going to keep the same name, but we're going to use word art to insert that into cell A1. Before we do that, they do want us to increase the height of row 1 to 136.5. 136.5, which I'm having a hard time getting that. So I'm just going to right click on row 1 and go into column width, or row height, sorry, 136.5. That'll give me the exact amount. Okay, now we're ready to insert the word art. So again, from our Insert tab, in the Text group, click on the Word Art button, and within that we're going to choose the Fill Olive Green Accent 3 Outline Text 2. And that gives us a placeholder, and we're going to go ahead and type in Evergreen, and I'm going to press Enter, and then we'll type in Products. Okay, and then I'm going to try to drag this word art text box into cell A1. Now if it doesn't go in there, like notice I'm pulling it in there, that's because the word art is too large. What we can do is resize this if possible. I need to spell that. Evergreen, is that right? Yeah, it didn't look right. Once I resize it, we can try it again, and now it fits in there just fine. And you can make it a little bit larger once you get it in there. But don't be, that first time when it creates the word art text box, it doesn't know how large you need it to be in order to fit it into the cell. So you may have to adjust the size of it. Okay, and then they want us to change the text fill color of the word art text. So to do that, on the Drawing Tools Format tab in the Word Art Styles group, we're going to choose the Text Fill button. And within that, we want olive green, accent 3, darker 25. You can see that getting a little bit darker there. Also, the outline of each of the letters within the word art, we want to change the color of that. So we're going to go back to the Word Art Styles group, going to the Text Outline button, clicking on the drop down arrow, And again, they want olive green, accent darker 50%. So you can kind of see that outlines it, maybe draws attention to those characters a little bit better. Okay? Alright, and then item 11 or step 11 in Project 4D asks that you do the same thing in the Seattle sales. They want you to delete evergreen products and insert word art to that. I'm going to let you do that on your own since we just did that. Okay, and that concludes Chapter 8. That's also the end of Level 1. But at the end of Chapter 8, we want to make sure that you review the chapter summary again, the concepts check, and of course make sure that you go through the assessments that begin on page 297, just to ensure that you know how to do all the features that were introduced in Chapter 8. And as always, if you have questions, feel free to email me or call me.